Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and today I'm going to show you how to cut a cantaloupe. So if you find that you're wasting a lot of fruit when you're buying your fruit whole rather than buying it already cut up at the grocery store, I'm here to help you because I know in these times that we're living in now, everybody's looking for ways to save money, and it costs way too much money to pay the grocery store to cut up your fruit and vegetables for you. So if you know how to do it yourself, you're going to save money and save some time too, because I'm going to show you how to do this really quick and really easy. So we've got our cantaloupe here, and I am using Pampered Chef's large groove cutting board. This cutting board has a groover on the edge that holds 3/4 cups of liquid. So no matter what we're cutting, if it's juicy, has a lot of liquid, all that liquid is going to drain into the groove around the edges and not onto the countertop. So I love having the large groove cutting board. You're going to need a sharp knife. We're going to need that so that we can cut all of the rind off of the cantaloupe. The next thing you're going to need is our scoop loop. The scoop loop is going to be used to scrape out the seeds. And then the last thing you need is just a container to store it in. I have a couple that I'm going to show you here today. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope that you will subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell so that you will be notified anytime I post a new video. And also be sure to go to theflipflopchef.com and subscribe to or join my recipe community. You'll find thousands of other recipes, videos, as well as a weekly giveaway. So if you see any products in this video that you'd like to purchase, I am a consultant with the Pampered Chef, and I'd love the opportunity to help you. I do earn commission on the products that I sell, so if you like my videos, I'd love for you to shop with me. So let's go ahead and get our cantaloupe ready. So we're going to do this very much like a watermelon. We're going to cut the top and the bottom off so that we have a flat surface to work on. So we're going to cut the top and the bottom, and then we're going to stand this upright. So we do this so that we have a flat surface to work with. I'll zoom in, give you guys a closer look here. I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to carve around to take off that rind. So if you don't get it perfect the first time, you can always go back and you can trim off any extra that may have gotten left behind. And this is the same way that you would cut up a watermelon. The difference is with a watermelon, you don't have to take the seeds out of the middle, so I'm going to show you that extra little step here. So we're just going to keep rotating, and I do have a separate video that shows you just how to carve a watermelon. Alright, so I missed a little piece there, so let's toss these edges. I'm just going to make a quick look, make sure I got most of that off, and then I'm going to cut this right in half. And this is so that I can expose the seeds on the inside. So I'm going to use a garbage bowl here so that I can scrape out the seeds into a bowl and easily discard them. You could do this right over the trash can or your sink if you wanted to put these down the garbage disposal, whatever you like. But so you guys can really get a good look at how well this product works, you're going to just scrape the seeds out just like that. You can use this scoop loop on a variety of fruits and vegetables. You can use this on avocados, spaghetti squash, butternut squash, and of course pumpkins if you're getting ready to carve pumpkins at Halloween. This is the tool for you. You can also use it on bell peppers to scoop out the seeds on the inside. And you do have two sides, and they are different sizes. So one side is narrow. I don't know if you guys can see that on the video because I have a black shirt on, but one side is narrow. Let's see if I can lay it down here. One is narrow and one is more wide. So we'll toss the seeds, rinse my hands, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to cut this up into bite-sized pieces so it makes it easy for serving. So I'm just going to flip this over. Same thing on this one. You could do this in different orders. Sometimes I slice this way first, sometimes I slice this way. So it's really a personal preference, and sometimes it depends on the shape of the cantaloupe. So we're just going to cut these into slices, and then we'll come back and I'm going to cut them into bite-sized pieces. You could serve them just like this if you wanted to. If you're making a big fruit platter and you have a large platter to work with, then you cut your food in larger pieces so that you can use less fruit to cover that entire platter. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. Whoops. Set these on their sides and then just cut like this. I might have a couple too high. Yep, I went a little bit too high. They're getting slippery. So we're going to just cut these into bite-sized pieces and then transfer them over into a storage container or a serving container, depending on what you're going to do with them. I want to show you the cut and store containers because these are pretty cool. They have a cutting board built right in. The lid, when you invert it, it is a cutting board. Not that you're going to need to cut this again, but if you were to store larger pieces in here, then you might want to cut them. But for this, I'm just going to put all these pieces in here. I like using the plastic ones because I do have little kids. I guess they're not so little anymore. They're almost 10 years old, which blows my mind. But I like that I don't have to worry about them dropping these cut and store containers. And when they do have food in them that needs to be cut again, they can use this cutting mat as, or this little lid as the cutting board. It's great for storing strawberries. You can also make a little miniature charcuterie board in there. So however way you want to use them, you can just store. You don't even have to use that cutting board. All right, so this bowl is full. These do come in a set of 3. But if you wanted to serve this for a large gathering, or maybe you want to take it to the beach or the pool, then you might want to use our large cool and serve. It comes with this clear lid so you can see what's inside. This is the large cool and serve bowl. We will put the cantaloupe in this clear bowl, and you'll notice there's some condensation on here, and that is from this cooling mat. So the cooling mat, I keep these in the freezer all the time, so anytime I need to use them, they're always going to be cold. Whatever I need to keep cold is going to stay cold for 4 to 6 hours. So you put your cooling mat on the inside of the outer bowl, and your food goes into the clear bowl, which sits on top of that cooling mat. So let's finish cutting up our cantaloupe. I had just a little bit more here from my first half. I'm going to toss that in here, and then we'll do the second half. So I told you could cut this in either direction. So if you wanted to cut this one in the other direction, you can do that. It's totally a personal preference. So these are going to be a little bit shorter because I cut them on this way rather than long ways. All right, so same thing. We're just going to go back, and I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to give that an extra cut down the side. And then we'll toss all of this in our cool and serve. So for this, I'm just going to cut this in half just because these are some bigger pieces and I want to make sure that these are relatively the same size. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then this is going to be ready to eat. Now, all the cantaloupe in this house gets eaten by Christian. So you guys that follow me regularly, you learn my kids' eating habits. Christian eats all the fruit all the time, and he can eat a whole cantaloupe or a whole watermelon all on his own in just a couple of days. So that's also why he's so skinny. So we're going to finish cutting this up, and remember, this is our large group cutting board. The other side of this cutting board is completely flat. I will show you that once I flip all this over. And remember, if this was really, really juicy, then we would have a lot more juice than we have around the groove around the edge. But the other side of this is completely flat. So if you didn't need the groove, you could just flip that right over. Let me dry my hands really quickly, and I will show you guys the 2 options that we have here. So what we did was I stored some in our cut and store containers. These are great for kids. You just pop that lid right on, and then they can take it out of the fridge anytime that they want some. And then in the larger bowl here, this is our cool and serve container. If this is the large bowl, if you wanted to take this to the pool, the boat, the park, just in the car for a road trip, you could use this so many different ways, and it's going to keep the fruit cold along the way. So this is not necessarily for traveling unless you put it in a cooler and want to keep it cold that way. But with this one, you have that cooling mat that's built right in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me. I'm more than happy to answer anything that I can for you. And don't forget to go to theflipflopchef.com, click the button at the top, join my recipe community. You're going to find thousands of recipes, more videos, as well as a weekly giveaway every single Friday. So I look forward to seeing you next time. That's all I have for you today. Take care.